Hi, everybody. It is Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in, sellers. Settle in. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know your weather. Let me know that you can hear me. Really warm today here in New York. It was really just a gorgeous day. Needed a little more than a t-shirt, but honestly, like a t-shirt and a light jacket, you were more than fine. So it was gorgeous here today. Hope you're having good weather too. While everybody's coming in and settling in, I will let you know who I am. And just to let you know, what we're going to be covering is being irresistible. That's why I wore red, because I find it's very sort of like, hello, being irresistible to eBay shoppers. I've got some super tips to share with you. And while you're settling in, I am Kathy Terrell. I love to be selling. I've been on selling on eBay for well over 15 years. I'm a top rated seller. Like a lot of sellers, I started very small. I don't know how large your eBay selling is right now, but I started just selling odds and ends from around my home. I had been working on QVC Shopping Channel. I was a product presenter on QVC, working for several different companies. And what happened for me was my mother, who lived in New York City, and I live in New York City, she started to have failing health. She was going out in and out of the hospital a lot. I really thought it was perhaps only going to last maybe a couple weeks or a month, but it was going on for several months. So I sat down with my husband and we chatted, because I was commuting from New York to go to Pennsylvania to do QVC. And it was becoming more and more difficult to do that and to take care of mom. So what I did was I left QVC just to be home based. And while I was home based taking care of my mom, that's when I started selling on eBay, because what I was looking for was something really flexible that I could do part-time and that I could do around what I needed to do for my mom, which was a lot of doctor visits. If you've dealt with elder care, or if you've had a family member that's ill or just has a protracted illness that goes on for a while, you'll know what I'm talking about, which is just a lot of doctor visits, in and out of the hospital a lot. Then come home and you're dealing with home care. There's just a lot of things to deal with. Hey, Jackie, how are you? Hey, Jill. Hey, Ladoris. So I just started selling odds and ends, and truly my focus was on taking care of my mom. But what I did find was I liked eBay. I love the flexibility. Living in New York City, I don't have an attic, I don't have a basement, so it was great to declutter and sort of minimalize. And as I was doing that, I was like, I really like selling on eBay. But again, my focus was on my mom. And then once my mom passed, looking around, talking with my husband, it's like, okay, now, what do I want to do? What do I want to look at? My background's performing arts. Do I want to go back to acting full time? Do I want to, inquire with the different companies I was working with, go back to QVC? What did I want to do? And what I said to my husband was, I'm really liking eBay a lot. Let me see if I can scale this and really make this a full-time business, because I love the flexibility. I love the variety. I love the sellers. I love my buyers. Let's do eBay. And that's what I did, using my QVC experience of over 6 years. And then I also have over 20 years of brick and mortar experience here in New York City. I took that. I learned a lot about eBay from a lot of wonderful sellers, and I blended it all. And what I really do, because it's something that I had learned from retail and learned from QVC, was to take my item and how can I get it sold faster and for more money, to look at turning my inventory over quicker. And what that really has to do with is really learning about eBay search. What makes eBay search tick? How can I get the best ranking in eBay search? How can I get my item to stand out in eBay search? How can I be attractive to shoppers? Because what I want to do is, if I can turn my inventory faster, that's getting your cash back in your pocket, and that's a good thing. And then also for a higher price. How can I get mine to sell a little bit more than the competitor and still sell quickly? And that's what I'm going to be talking about today, specifically about holiday or seasonal promotions. Great to see everybody. So, how to be irresistible to eBay shoppers. And actually, QVC ties into this. So I want to explain to you, if you don't know, selling on QVC, and I'm sure it's similar on Home Shopping and other networks, is there's a green room area. And before you go on air, you're in the green room area. You meet with the hosts there. You get to see the other people that are going to be presenting and chit chat with them. It's very social. It's very fun. It's also work. So when people are on air in the green room, there's monitors all over the place, and two monitors. So there's a monitor so you can see the show, and then there's a monitor showing sales. It's like a graph, almost watching like a stock market thing. And it was fascinating to watch people present so you could see what they were saying and then see how it impacted the sales. And typically, if you're going on air, so if I'm going on air, let's say I'm selling water bottles, right? Is I would have a partner with me. I would have somebody from the sales company that I was working for. So, you know, the bottle manufacturer, the sales rep for the bottles. And they would be watching the monitor while I was on air and taking notes because it's all live. I think it's like about a 6-second delay. Taking notes about when sales would go up, and then also if sales would go down, what was going on, what was being said. And you do this so then you can go and tweak your presentation so there's less of the down and more of the up. The other thing that was fascinating is if you're watching other people's presentations, because you would be there hours before your own presentation, is to watch other people's presentations. So this product, and you could see the numbers going up and down. You could see the person's presentation. QVC also has typically callers calling in, and you hear what they're saying, and you could watch the effect on the sales. And as much as it was absolutely, you know, of course you want to sell out, which is always the big thing on QVC, and you really want the sales to spike quite fast once you start your presentation. But it was also really interesting to watch, and it's hard to watch somebody when you know they're working so hard and they're doing such a great job and the item just isn't selling. Okay, so they would come back and you look at it and it's like, is it the presentation? Is it the product? And you got to look at, is it how I'm presenting it? Like it's a great product, but they're just not getting what it does. And there's a whole thing behind that. If it's a product that comes in several colors, perhaps I need to highlight another color more than the one I was choosing. I mean, there's a lot of different tweaks and everything that you can do. And it could be the price. So it's, how did I present it? Did I showcase it, which is literally how you're holding it. A lot of times you're holding the item, you're wearing the item. You know, is it showcased the best? And was there any kind of sales spike? Did anything grab the viewer's attention or not, which you could tell from the monitor? And this is, so you take all, and literally I did this for years. So, I mean, I literally watched hundreds and hundreds of presenters, successful, and also items that completely tanked. And if you ever watched Shark Tank with Lori Grenier, I mean, she talks about this. She said, you know, she's had tons and tons of very successful products, but she's also had products that just have not done well at all. But you learn from them because some of them you can take and you can turn around and you can tweak. And then others, we all know with stale inventory, sometimes you just got to let it go. And this is what I wanted to share with you about being irresistible to have that product that goes up and up and up to shoppers. So on eBay, one of the tools that we have, and you do not need to be an eBay seller to use this tool, is promoted listings. And I'm bringing it up because I hear a lot of wrong things about promoted listings spoken of. And I'm going to date this. This is November of 2020, because sometimes it's people have been listening to something from a couple of years ago that doesn't apply anymore. So you do not need an eBay store to do promoted listings. Promoted listings is a function of eBay advertising. You are paying eBay to promote your item. It is not like a Google AdWord campaign. So if you're an intermediate or advanced seller, or if you sell multi-channel, you might be familiar with that, which is on a Google ad campaign, you pay for the click, which is if the person clicks the item, you're paying money. eBay's not like that. So if I'm paying eBay, if I've put something into a promoted listing and somebody clicks on it, but they don't buy it, I don't pay for the click. With promoted listings, you only pay, back to my water bottle, if the person, and the item's being promoted, so I'm paying eBay to promote my water bottle. If somebody clicks the water bottle and then buys this exact water bottle, not another one of my water bottles, this water bottle, within 30 days of the initial click. What eBay does is they put a cookie, it's called a cookie jelly cookie. They put a cookie on you so they can tell you came in, you clicked, you looked, If you buy that exact water bottle within 30 days, eBay will charge you a promoted listings fee. Now, there's no surprise because when you're doing your listing, this also shows in Seller Hub, you can see what rate you're giving eBay, and you can also see how much you're going to pay them if you do get a click and a sale. And you do want to look at that, particularly if you have items that have very tight margins, perhaps you're only making 20 or 30%, you really do want to keep an eye on whatever your percentage is, right? Because you want to be making a profit. But on things that you have a very hefty margin on, perhaps I'm making 50, 80%, just realize that it may be good for you to bump up your rate. So, and this is the thing about being irresistible to eBay shoppers is, and we're talking about holiday selling. And when I say holidays, I don't just mean Thanksgiving and Christmas, also New Year's. Different things have different seasons. I worked with a home and garden seller, and spring is their Black Friday holiday season because everybody's planting and doing their gardens in the spring. So different products have different seasonality. So yes, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah is huge, but New Year's is huge for other things. Think about fitness, right? Think about home organization. January's huge for that. Then you run into Valentine's Day. So there are many seasons to seasonal selling. So when people say that, they go, oh, you know, Christmas, or I don't have anything that's Christmas, Thanksgiving. Yeah, but you might have New Year's. You might have Valentine's Day. You might have a Mother's Day, Father's Day. So just as you're going into different seasons, realize that the suggested rate, it used to be called trending rate, now it's called suggested rate, can change on your products. And that's a tip I wanted to tell you about being irresistible to shoppers, is you might be getting great results on a campaign, which is what it's called. You take your listings and you put them in campaigns, and then all of a sudden it'll really slow down. You could be into a peak season for those products. So then go and check and see, like typically if the rate, suggested rate, I'm just going to pull something out of my hat, was like around 3%, 4%, and all of a sudden it's jumped to 7%, you might want to bump yours up for that season. I remember, I think it was like 2 years ago, in clothing, women's clothing, and again, I haven't looked today, so I can't tell you exactly, but I remember the rate almost doubled for November, December. So then I had to look at, with the margins, with the profit that I'm making on the item, how much more, if I want to go up, do I want to go up? Because just to let you know, one of the things I talked about with the promoted listings team is, okay, if people have campaigns and then all of a sudden they slow down, or they're not getting results. So a campaign where you've gotten results and all of a sudden you're not. The number one thing they said was take a look at the rate. And you've got to realize eBay doesn't make money if we don't make money. Promoted listings doesn't make any money unless the items that we're promoting and we the sellers are choosing as our free will, whether, unless it sells. So they want the item that we're putting into our promoted listings campaign to sell in a promoted listings. Why? Because then they get that extra fee, right? So they're incentivized. They want the item to sell. But if also the rate's gone up significantly, I really got to take a look at, and again, that's why I say check your margins, because you may not have the margin to do it, to bump it up. Additionally, let's say I start selling in November, December, and the rates are higher. Be sure to go in and check in January, February, because they might really come down. And why pay eBay money? I don't need to pay eBay. So then bring it back down. So it's very much like the stock market or anything, which is you do want to go in and check the rate. It's not a set it and forget it. You do want to go in. And one question I get a lot, and I emailed the promoted listings team on this, was, okay, Kathy, so I'm doing promoted listings. I put my listings into campaigns. Some campaigns are doing really well. Yay. But I have some that are not, that are really just, I'm not getting results. So that's what I talked about with the team. And the first thing they said to me was, if there's low impressions, so I'm looking at the campaign And it's just not getting that many impressions. Like I look at another campaign, it's on wildfire. You know, I have thousands of impressions or tens of thousands of impressions within 30, 60, 90 days. But another one that's not, that just seems to be slower moving. What do they suggest? And that's why I talked about the suggested rate. The first thing they suggested was to increase your ad rate. And before everybody starts screaming like, oh, eBay's just taking my money, remember, they don't make money if we don't make money. And I do know there are some people that suggest, you know, just do 1% across the board or 2% across the board. I'm not speaking against that. But if you're doing that, if you're doing 1% across the board or 2% across the board, and you go in and you look at the campaign, then click edit. Because sometimes, because a lot of us are variety sellers, you might have a variety in that campaign. Take a look at what the suggested rate is. And if you're, let's say, I'm just going to pick one. Let's say you're at 1% and you're getting low impressions. That means you're not getting results. And the suggested rate is 7 or 8%. That's a big difference. Now, you may not want to go that high, but consider going to 2 or to 3 or to 4. And I talked with the team and they always suggest, they said, if you're not getting results that you think you should be getting, it's always worthwhile to split test. And I know a lot of times people are like, you know, they just want, oh, Kathy, tell me what to do. I'll get the line. Just tell me what to do. You know, or let's say to other people, you know, what do you do? Tell me what to do. And that's good. And I work with private clients and I help them with that. But let me tell you, if I'm suggesting rates, is because I've gone in and I have looked at your account and I have looked at your listings and I've looked at the suggested rates. And then I've looked at the optimization of your listing. And then I can make an assessment. To just say a blanket thing like, oh, just do 1% or 2% or bump it up 2 points or whatever. You need to go and look. And it doesn't need to take a lot of time. So again, the low impressions. I have a campaign. I'm just not getting impressions. And impressions means views. It means eBay showing your item. And if it's really low, something's up. So that's why I immediately check the rate. And again, if you're only giving eBay 1% and the suggested rate is much higher, again, 6, 7, 8%, you really want to think about bumping it up a little bit. And the other thing they said, again, on campaigns with low impressions where you're just not getting views, get this, check the keywords in your title. Isn't that interesting? So they're saying low impressions, up the rate, and check your keywords in your title. I thought that was fascinating about being irresistible. So keywords and titles, check your rate, look at the suggested rate. I actually did this in a campaign of mine, and I'm forgetting what category it was, but it was one that I was low, and it's because my margins are very, very tight in the category. So I had it low. It was at 1%. But I looked at the suggested rate, and the suggested rate was 2%. And I went, I can do that. I can do 2%. And I bumped it up to 2%, and I did see an increase in sales, gosh, I think like within 3 to 4 days. So I was like, I will stay at that for the holidays, because remember too, for the holidays, because we're going into Thanksgiving, Christmas, it's a season, it's seasonal retail. I can do the rate. Then once the holidays are over, I will go back in January and I will look, is it still suggested at 2, or has it come down, or has it gone up? And if it's gone up, do I want to go up or just stay where I am? Your promoted listing dashboard is great because you'll see results from promoted listings. You'll also see what your sales are organically, and that means without the promoted listings, and look at it. But go and look, particularly things that aren't getting the results where you're not being irresistible, is check the rate. And I love that. Check the keywords in your title. I have an entire guide that I've written for you. It is completely free. It is my gift to you. It is on my website, ilovetobeselling.com. So if you hop over there, and I'm typing it in right now, it's winning with promoted listings. And I will show it to you. So hang on just a second. And grab it because it's free. It's over 15 pages of top tips. I just rewrote it. I just edited it. So everything in it is current. I mean, I literally spent like the past week and a half going over this. So hop over to my website, ilovetobeselling.com. And when you get there, you're going to hover on free tips and you're going to go to winning with promoted listings. It has tips that are foundational. So if you're brand new to promoted listings, yay. I'll start you off right because I absolutely give you some starting tips. But for my intermediate and more advanced sellers, you're going to love it. And I added this because this is like the #1 question I get from people, which is, what do I do with stale campaigns? And I give you targeted tips just on waking up stale campaigns. I just added that to the guide. It is completely free. It is my gift to you. So use this, look at it. Even if you're getting good results, I don't know about you, even when something's working for me, it's like, I'm always like double checking, like, can I get like a little bit more of an edge, right? I'm getting good results. Can I get even better results? Or I read it and I go, it lets me know, yeah, everything I'm doing is great. Keep on keeping on. So grab this. Again, I just rewrote it, Winning with eBay Promoted Listings. Promoted listings is an awesome, awesome tool that we as sellers control. We control promoted listings, what's in it, the rate we pay, we can change it, we can edit it at any time. So grab it, and that way you will be irresistible to eBay shoppers. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Bye-bye, everybody.